Ford actually wants to start making small cars again? What? Let's talk about this. If you're new to this channel, my name is Kaz, and I've been driving full battery electric cars for the past 10 years, and I can't charge where I live, so I'm playing this game on ultra hard mode and sharing my experiences with you. All right, so why does Ford want to start selling smaller cars? Well, you probably guessed it, so they can make more money. So the CEO of Ford said, the first thing we have to do is really put all of our capital towards smaller, more affordable EVs. These big, huge, enormous EVs, they're never going to make money. The battery is $50,000. Batteries will never be affordable. I mean, makes sense. They're a company, they need to make money. Batteries are expensive, and the rest of the world isn't really like America. The rest of the world isn't really driving big cars. So for example, outside of America, the best-selling EV models are compact vehicles with small batteries that yield comparatively low range. And I can definitely vouch for that. I was able to go to Japan a couple times last year, and although their EV saturation is super low, it's still hard to find EVs driving around. The ones that are driving around are compact. Actually, the largest one that was not a Tesla that I saw was the Hyundai Ioniq 5. And in my whole 5 weeks that I was there last year, I think I only saw one Tesla Model Y. And why is that? Because their streets are really small. And I think electricity is also very expensive in Japan. But anyway, small cars dominate over there. And I know that they do in Europe too. I think in other places around the world, you'll be hard pressed to find something like a Ford Expedition. If you're enjoying this video so far, you know what you can do to help me out. Like, subscribe, and share this to someone who you might think would enjoy this video. And if you're feeling extra generous, you can get me a coffee by going to Ko-fi, link down below. Now, Farley's preference for small cars is, of course, driven by his duty as CEO to increase profit. Now that Ford is reportedly aiming to make a $30,000 EV by 2027, which must be small to be profitable, Farley is trying to nudge people in the US back to the very thing Ford turned away from. I remember a few years ago, Ford was going to stop selling cars. They were just going to focus on SUVs and trucks. So it's kind of weird that they're doing a 180 on that, but I'm glad, because if you've watched other videos on this channel, I personally prefer smaller cars, sometimes goofy looking cars like this Nimbus. Whatever happened to Nimbus? Nimbus, if you're watching, what's going on with you guys? I can also try to reach out too, but that's one of my more popular videos. It's a vehicle that I would be very interested in trying out because I think it could do at least 75% of my daily routine in that small vehicle and take up such a small footprint. Anyway, going on a rant about Nimbus, let's move on. So Ford is aiming for a $30,000 car, which I'm guessing is their idea of being more affordable. I don't know, $30,000 is still a lot of money. What do you think? What constitutes an affordable car for you? What's the price range that would be affordable? Let me know. And why I love that they're gonna be doing smaller cars is because I think big cars in general are really unnecessary. Now, it depends on a lot of things. It depends on where you live, the region you live, your family structure, a lot of stuff. But I can definitely say, driving here in LA, where a lot of times we're driving 5 miles per hour on the freeway, I'll look around at other people driving near me, and I would guess 90% of the vehicles on the freeway have one person in them. And that goes for people driving Honda Civics, or smart cars, or Silverado 3500s, or big vans. Almost always there's just one person in the car. So people are choosing to have these big cars and not use them for what they're designed for. Now, if you have a big family of 6 or something, and you have that Ford Expedition, and you're utilizing it all the time, that's awesome. You're getting your money's worth that way. If you're only one person, do you need a vehicle that has this huge amount of space, that takes up all this energy? I don't know. And that's why I like the idea of the Aptera. Now, if you haven't heard of this car, check out my playlist. I have a bunch of videos on the Aptera. It's not something that you can own just yet, but the idea of it is that you can get energy from the sun because it has solar panels on there, so you're not completely reliant on the grid. It's ultra aerodynamic, which means it's ultra efficient, which means it can use a smaller battery and yet go a longer range than another car that has a bigger battery. So I really think we need to move in that direction in general. Smaller cars, more efficient cars, because it comes with a lot of different benefits. A smaller car is going to use less energy, it's going to be cheaper to insure, it's going to cost less to maintain. A lighter car is going to mean your tires don't wear out as quickly, your brakes aren't going to wear out as quickly, even though you don't use your brakes as much with an EV anyway, but still, at some points you do use your brakes and they will take longer to wear down. Smaller cars are easier to park in dense areas and overall cheaper price tag. Now, a smaller battery might freak some people out that are thinking about going to an EV because for whatever reason here, we want more and more and more range. If you are lugging around a battery that can get you 500 miles, but 95% of your driving is like 30 miles or less, you know, why are you carrying around this big heavy weight that's making your car less efficient? It's a more expensive thing, all this kind of stuff. Smaller cars, smaller batteries, we're gonna need more public charging, which means more locations and more stations at those locations that work 99% of the time. Anyway, Ford's motive for small cars might not be the best, but I'll take it. You know, if people want their SUVs, that's fine. I don't think they're gonna go away anytime soon, but it would be great to have more smaller car options. So what do you think about this story? Do you think America should go the way of other countries and start making more smaller cars? Or are you gonna stick with your F-350 dually Super Duty? Let me know in the comments. See you next time.